I want to talk about this in the realist of senses, in the realist of way possible, because it's not going to be pretty. It's very ugly and it's very vile. So, you don't like hearing this kind of stuff, don't fucking watch the video and don't listen. That being said, let's look over the signs, okay? I think for the past maybe 27 years, Nickelodeon has been quite the shady company, especially with their child actors for the live-action children shows that they aired. I grew up with a generation of kids who grew up watching this kind of stuff. So when all the celebrity drama started appearing all over the place about Zoe 101, Victorious, iCarly, Drake and Josh, all that, I wasn't exactly surprised by it, because all the behavior that these kids displayed, whether it be just from celebrity gossip or news media outlets trying to capture all the bizarre celebrity behavior that these kids were going through, I see it for what it is, and that was a desperate cry for help, and it was something they couldn't get out of either. Such examples such as Britney Spears shaving her head and trying to get away from the paparazzi, to how these kids would lash out at the crowds about them and everything, or some of their bizarre behavior even after they stopped acting altogether. It really spells out a situation where behind the scenes of what these shows were not as pleasant as the shows seemed to be themselves. These kids were coping and crying for help in a way that they can maybe get a message out that not is all pleasant with what it seems. And what did the mainstream media do? Basically exploited their behavior just to sell some newspapers and get some clicks and everything like that. When in reality, they should have been looking into it as a bigger picture. Like, there's gotta be a reason behind this.
Side of the courtroom was full. There were definitely some recognizable faces on that side of the room. And my side was me, my mom, and my brother. He had a statement. I wasn't going to address Brian. There was no reason to. I addressed my statement to everyone in the room. I looked at all of them, and I just said, "How dare you?" And I said, "You will forever have the memory of sitting in this courtroom and defending this person. And I will forever have the memory of the person you're defending violating me and doing unspeakable acts and crimes. And that's what I'll remember."
I'll tell you the number one thing that I'm afraid of, especially now, is back then that this was still seen as a crime, but now there are plenty of political advantages and movements out there trying to create this as an acceptable practice or behavior. And as a CSA victim myself, I have never been more afraid in my life than I am now.
Or map in the title and throughout the book for multiple reasons. First of all, because I think it's important to use terminology for groups that members of that group want others to use for them. And map advocacy groups like Before You Act have advocated for use of the term map.
The fact that people think downplaying this and trying to moralize it in a way where they think it should be acceptable in a society has no idea what it's like to be an actual victim or to have survived through such an abusive practice. They don't. They're only enacting on their urges and behavior, and they have no idea what it's like to be a victim of it. I never want to see myself as a victim. Maybe at one point when it happened in its most freshest point in my life, I was a victim. Now I see myself as a survivor. I don't want this to ever be normal. It shouldn't be. It's not right. I'm so glad that a lot of this stuff is slowly starting to die down, because within the past maybe a year or 2 years, this was slowly starting to gain traction and become something normal, which no parent or any survivor of abuse wants it to become. I'll leave you off with this. Don't let these monsters get what they desire. Don't let this become a normalized thing. It should never be. Should never be. That's all I got for this video.